Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing well. Let's see if it gives me the option to tag some people that are on. Excuse me. I am still getting over this sickness. So you'll have to excuse my voice. I'm just gonna tag people that I see are first couple ones up here. Okay, so I wanted to talk to y'all today about hostess coaching. So y'all know we are a party planning company. You know that for a growing, consistent growing business, you need to be partying. However that looks for you, it could be bag parties, Facebook parties, shopping links, any way that you're able to meet new people outside of your bubble, right? But a part of that, which I did a Booking Blitz challenge this morning. It's really something that we should be doing at least once a month as a team. Hey, Ashley. Is taking intentional time to book parties, okay? And that is literally just the first step of partying, is getting that booking. It's the hardest part, but there's more that comes with partying than just booking the party. Sorry, Dina's grunting. And that's going to be, obviously, you booked your party, but now we need to hostess coach. And we have to be intentional with how we're partying. So I've mentioned before that the way that I like to party, well, all of my parties are on Facebook, 99% of them. I do events. I'm starting to get back into events once a month. And I will have a few sprinkled home parties in there, okay? But majority of my business is online on Facebook, not local to me, okay? So with that comes a ton of challenges, right? Because everybody's partying on Facebook. People are sending out invitations all the time to parties. And a lot of them get ignored because it can be spammy and it can be taken in a way that even I find myself being like, I don't want any part of that. Like, I'm not interested, right? Which is totally fine. But there are going to be people that are interested. So that is where the hostess coaching comes in. So we have the host, we have the person who has agreed to want to host this party. Now, I like to treat my parties like they're in person, home parties, because those are the biggest hits. You get to actually talk to people. They actually get to smell the scents, which is huge. But when I first started this business, I was told that I could not do my business online because the scents would not smell because people cannot smell them. That is false. I have built a very large, successful business, 99% online, by people not being able to smell it. But with that comes, again, those challenges that I mentioned where I have to be super intentional, and partying is not easy. So let's just go ahead and put that out there. It is a lot of work. It is you can't just post and leave a party. You actually have to be intentional with what you do, how you say it, all of those things, right? And I've learned through doing this what works for me and what doesn't, right? So I'm guilty of having someone host, scheduling out posting and just leaving it be, right? I have tons of parties that have zero interaction. I have tons of parties that have minimal interaction. I have tons of flops. Let's just put all that normalizing out there because it just happens. But I also have very successful parties. I have teammates from parties. I have very long living, repeating customers that I've never met in real life because I've met them at a party, okay? Now, all of that came from being intentional. So the hostess coaching part of partying, because there's many parts, like I said, is so very important. And y'all will hear me say this a lot. Stop telling your host they don't have to do anything. And because they do. Just like if they were to have a party at their house, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to clean their house, probably provide some snacks, welcome their guests, talk to people, share what they love about their products, probably share their favorites, thank people for coming, all of those normal things you do when you have someone at your house, right? I know that COVID happened and we've gotten really far away from that, but those are the things you do when you have people over. So we're going to try and do that on Facebook. That's always my intention, is to provide a personal experience for these people. So I'm going to need the help of the host to do that, because her people know and like and trust her. They don't know me from Adam. They just know that I'm trying to sell them something, which is the first thing that they're probably like, I'm going to stay far away from her, right? Because I don't want her to sell me anything. But when their friend says, no, Whitney's awesome, she is very knowledgeable about the product, she's really good at making recommendations for scents off of what you like, just go chat with her, right? That's a real life conversation. That's what we want to happen in a Facebook party where there's tons and millions of people. So with hostess coaching, that's something that you're going to have to stay on top of when you have a party. So how I do it is, I usually do my parties 3 to 5 days. I will extend them if they need to be, but I like to keep things short, sweet, in and out, we're done, right? Because when people accept an invite into a group for a party, that is them agreeing that they want to be there, right? That's an accepted invitation. So that is my green light to be able to say, she wants to be here, right? Because now with Facebook, you have to accept that invite to group. People can't just add you like they used to be able to. But with that, again, I'm going to need the host's help. So here's what I do to coach my host. I set up the party. I let the host know, hey, your party's set up, ready to go. I want you to personally invite. It varies what I tell them, but 25 to 35 is what I have on my checklist. I think I say up to 50 in the message. And I say don't invite more than that, or it's going to be considered spamming on Facebook. I put on their checklist that I want them to message each person and invite them individually to the party. And then I want them to post in the party, once they've invited everyone, some kind of welcome, right? Because I don't want them to just randomly invite these people and never talk to them or even mention that they're having a party, because that's spammy. So after they do that, or say maybe you get into a party and they don't do that, you can just send a friendly reminder the next day. Hey, don't forget to post your welcome message. Usually people are going to listen to what you tell them to do in hostess coaching to have the most successful party. In my checklist that I give them too, I tell them that they need to comment on every single post that I make, whether it be that they love it, that they didn't know it existed, what surprises them about it, whatever it may be, but I want them to comment on it because their friends are going to follow their lead. And I tell them this in their welcome message too, because again, I want to tell them how to be a good host. I also put in my checklist that I want them to tag people in their comments of the products that they think they would love. Why? Because that's going to bring awareness to the products, to my post, and to the group. Because a lot of times in groups, even if you join them, and the Facebook is always changing, so we have to keep up on this, but even if you accept an invite to a group, your notifications aren't automatically turned on, which is part of my party as well, to tell them to do that. But with the host being able to tag people, and the more interaction they are in the party, that's going to show up in that person's newsfeed. Okay. I also tell them to ask questions because their guests may be worrying or wondering the same thing. I tell them to make sure they thank every single person who orders. That's something that I also do as the consultant. Every time someone orders, I post in the group, thanks so much for your order. I will either just do like a thank you GIF or a thank you graphic, or sometimes if I'm feeling frisky, I'll put in a picture of one of the things that they ordered. But I make sure that they also send some kind of thank you to them, whether it be on that post or individually, okay? And then I also encourage them to share what they love about Scentsy, right? If they were at their home and people would say, oh, what do you think about this? They would share what they love. So I tell them to share any Scentsy products that they have in the Facebook party. And then I also coach them to message their guests at the end of the party just to send a reminder to the people who hadn't ordered yet that it's closing soon, because people do and appreciate those reminders. Again, if they've accepted an invite to a group, that's your green light to know that they want to be there. So we're going to treat them like they need to know all the information, because they do. Now, with this hostess coaching, it's a lot, especially for maybe someone who's never hosted an online party, to go do these things. And that's where the daily check-ins from me with my host come in, where I'll say, you know, send that reminder to say, oh, don't forget your welcome post. Or if maybe they haven't been commenting on a lot, hey, don't forget to comment on my post. Or, hey, we don't have any orders yet, but we still have so-and-so days amount left, right? You having that interaction with your host makes it more of a personable experience with them, instead of, again, just posting and ghosting. And we don't want to do that. So posting and ghosting for your customers or future customers, and posting and ghosting for your hosts. We want it to be a fun, interactive party. We want people to want to be there, because the more that they want to be there and the more that they're enjoying themselves, the more they're likely to spend on their order with you. Okay? So with your parties, when you get them booked today with the booking blitz, that is awesome. That is literally the hardest part in the first step. But once you take it to the next step of having those parties with people, I want you to take time to be intentional to coach your host, to do that hostess coaching with them, and help them help themselves have a successful party. Okay? So if y'all have any questions about what I do or what I have found to be successful, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer any of those, and I'll also share the checklist that I share with people. I've also done hostess bingo in the past. I stopped doing that because I found that the people who did it were people who just wanted the free product, or the prize at the end. They didn't actually want to participate, if that makes sense. Yes, and I say that all the time. It's not letting me see your whole comment, Ashley, but oh, there it goes. You have to be intentional with your host and party guests. And that also shows that just because you have a flop with a party doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, or that maybe your format isn't right. Maybe it's just not the right group of people, okay? So keep that in mind too, that the flops of a party are totally normal, especially if the hostess isn't engaged, or maybe they're just doing like the minimum. You can tell, like I said, with the hostess bingo, that's what I found a lot, that people were literally just trying to check the boxes off instead of actually taking advice to help themselves, if that makes sense. So yeah, y'all let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a good Tuesday. Bye guys.